In the early part of 2005, Evening Standard royal correspondent Robert Jobson was travelling through London in a taxi. His mole in Buckingham Palace was trying to reach him.
I got a phone call on my mobile phone. My source had been quite clear. He said three clear things. It said HMQ, Her Majesty the Queen, has allowed the POW, the Prince of Wales, to marry his lady. She's going to tell the Prime Minister, the PM, and that it's going to happen on April the 8th at Windsor.
Charles had proposed over New Year in Scotland. It was the first time in history that the papers had announced a royal engagement ahead of the palace.
The engagement announcement was known to very few people. It was very tightly held within the palace, and the notice that we had for the announcement was really no more than a couple of hours.
And no matter what way the palace tried to dress this up, that it was all in the planning stages, it was clear that they'd been caught on the hop. And from the moment the story broke, they had a period of about 6 weeks when everything seemed to go wrong.
Charles had a long time to prepare for his happy day, but his team hadn't done their homework.
The planning was a shambles. It emerged that if they'd married Charles and Camilla in Windsor Castle, it would have meant that civil ceremonies could take place by anybody in Windsor Castle for a period of 3 years. Now that, of course, was not practical or possible, so she had to then become Camilla the first royal town hall bride.
Ma'am, the Prince's office is wondering.
Yes.
Would you be prepared to attend a ceremony in the local register office?
She would have said, no, let them get on with that civil part. I'll be here waiting to celebrate the most important thing of all. I mean, just imagine if she'd attended the first part but not the second thing.
And then, with less than a week to go, Pope John Paul II died. It was now one wedding and a funeral, both to take place on the same day.
A 24-hour postponement would allow the Prince of Wales to fly to the funeral and then come back and get married.
So the wedding will now take place on Saturday?
With the reception at 4 o'clock, I'm afraid.
Is that a problem?
I rather suspect you were hoping to watch the Grand National, ma'am.
The Queen has a passion for horse racing. Exceeds, I suspect, even her passion for corgis. And that exceeds most of her passions.
We all have to make our sacrifices, Robin.
Indeed, ma'am.
So, Charles, ready for the off?
As ready as one can be. Fingers crossed, etc., etc.
I do hope it goes smoothly.
Quite.
I've known these paintings most of my life.
Yes. They are rather wonderful.
Some of them have been here since 1936. Gifts for King Edward VIII. It may be time to move one or two of them on. Show them in a better light.
Ah. Such different times.
Damaging times.
What is it about? There's something evolving.
Despite all the last-minute hitches, Charles and Camilla were married on Saturday the 9th of April 2005 at Windsor Guildhall, just up from the local Burger King.
Then it's all just a little bit of history. repeating.
The wedding day at Windsor was quite genuinely a lovely occasion. It was very joyful, very happy, not untinged with relief.
The newspapers shout, a new style is growing.
The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh were in attendance for the blessing at St George's Chapel, and then at the wedding reception.
All the complaints about this shouldn't happen just seemed to go away because they were a picture of happiness. And I think everybody deserves a little bit of happiness. This was a middle-aged love story, and it came true.
Woman, man, girl and boy, feel the pain, feel the joy, and sidestep the little bits of history repeating.
I have two important announcements to make. The first is from Aintree, that the Grand National has been won by Hedgehunter by 14 lengths. The odds were 7-1. My second announcement is that here at Windsor, I am delighted to welcome my son and his bride to the winner's enclosure. They have overcome Beecher's Brook and the chair and all kinds of other terrible obstacles. They have come through, and I am very proud and wish them well. My son is home and dry with the woman he loves.
For those who heard it, it was really moving, because all this stuff about did she approve, didn't she approve, how did they all get on, this was the coming together. Quotes, closure, close quotes.
Charles.
Once, the Queen had not wanted to hear her name. Now Camilla, the new Duchess of Cornwall, was her daughter-in-law.
I suppose you could look at the 50 years between 1955, when Princess Margaret did not marry Group Captain Peter Townsend, and 2005, when the Prince of Wales did marry Camilla Parker Bowles. And that is just about as remarkable a change as you could imagine.
But Camilla was not Queen yet, and there were still some compromises that the still reigning Queen Elizabeth was not prepared to make.
And in the event of the prince becoming king, the number who would be happy for his wife to be queen has actually doubled.
Well done, Robin. Mission accomplished.
Yes, ma'am. I've also had a chance to check the order of precedence.
Oh, yes.
At all state occasions, the Duchess of Cornwall is now the second most senior female member of the royal family.
Ahead of Princess Anne.
And Princess Alexandra.
I think it's time for a new order of precedence. Don't you?
As you see fit, ma'am. The princess is then the Duchess?
To be announced on my birthday, I think. No need to inform the Prince's office just yet.
The groundbreaking drama documentary series The Queen is now available to own on DVD. Get your copy at channel4.com/shop. Next tonight on Alan Carr, Chatty Man, Kate Hudson, Sharon Osbourne and David Mitchell.